Well, on behalf of Dr. Andre and Pastor Jenny Raybert, welcome to an incredible time right here behind the faith. It is delightful December, Tando. What a great time we're going to be having.
It's going to be an incredible time today, but I know for every single one of you, you've already been joining us on our socials. But listen, you can always keep the conversation going. At My Faith TV is our handle, whether it is Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I don't even know if that exists anymore.
It does.
But I'm saying like in terms of like how I am, because I you know me and
You're not on
social
social media.
But for everyone else who actually enjoys the computer, myfaith.tv is our website, and you can simply fill in a contact form to let us know that you're connecting. If you have any questions, ask us, or you can partner with us on myfaith.tv. But man, it is an incredible portal. You can find any and everything.
You know, talking about, you mentioned social media. We don't have to release any Twitter files. You know what I mean? That's what the word of God is. God was tweeting way before everybody else, releasing those files of faith. So you can step into the delightful December excited, knowing that God is going to be doing something great and incredible for you. So we're going to have a great show today, full with a lot of stuff that's going to be exciting for each and every single one of you. A bit later on, we'll be catching up with Mr. Gavin Flanagan, telling us about Faith Now. But first and foremost, before all of that takes place, let's catch up with someone who's been around the ministry for a long time, Bishop Edward Dooku, with his program, The Overcomer. So today I have this honor and this privilege of chatting to, I don't know, Bishop Dooku. It's father, husband, leader, mentor, pastor, like so many titles. An incredible man of God. Bishop, welcome to Behind the Faith, and such an honor to have a conversation with you.
Thank you, Pastor Bande. Such a precious man. You and your wife, we admire you, your dedication, and that's why Pastor Andre can trust you. You are such a good man.
Well, Bishop, I wanted to find out more, and help our viewers, because, you've got your program that airs out on Faith Africa every Thursday at 5 a.m. Central African time, as well as on terrestrial, because you've been a part of this network and this ministry from the beginning. I always love what you say with Dr. Andre. You say, your brothers, it's just that you were born in the night and he was born in the day.
He's the one who started that. He's the one who, when he wants to tease me, he said, Edward was born in the night, I was born in the day. So that is the way we have come a long way. Precious man, Dr. Andre. We speak most of the time in the U.S., and I've had the opportunity of even visiting him right in the U.S., getting people from across the U.S. to Florida, to his studio there. It's amazing the way he treats them. One of my friends from Mississippi told me just about 3 months ago, Andre flew them there and took care of them, first class, hotel, everything. And it's amazing what he's doing with Dr. Jenny. They're precious people. Yeah.
Bishop, let's take it back to history. So you, church pastor in Butterworth, and then how did it go from all of that and coming onto television and being part of the network?
It's a long journey. To when we were TBN, before it became FBN. So it was 1996 that I had my first show right in Bishop, and with Mark. Mark has been here for so many years now behind the scene. People don't even see him, such a quiet man. Very, very dedicated man, honest now, loyal to Andre. He will never go anywhere. People have come and gone, and such are the kind of men we know. So like Dr. Andre, we've come a long way with the television. So I used to work with Andre's dad, and Dr. Bennett. So he will have behind the scene with me in Bishop, and most of the time he will call me. So we started all the way back, because of Praise the Lord at that time, every Friday. And it was SAVIOUR across everywhere. And so that is my standing with TBN leading to FBN. Even the night that FBN was born, it was 3 of us. Pastor Alan Ban from Cape Town, Dr. Andre, myself in Bishop. And we did the same thing. One white hand, my black hand in between, and Andre's hand. And that is where I remember the 1st of May, that is where we did the launch of FBM, what it is now. So the Lord has been so good and faithful.
Bishop, let's talk a bit about your program. It's been airing for many years now, The Overcomer. Now, I'll ask the question, I want to start here. Why call it The Overcomer?
We do call it overcomers because 1 John chapter 5 verse 4 says, for whosoever is born of God. There are so many challenges in the world today where people were born, so many obstacles trying to stop us. And once we allow ourselves to be born again, it doesn't matter our family background, the color of our skin, our educational background, our social standing, it doesn't matter. Once we allow ourselves for Christ to come. Now, you don't know Pastor Bandi. Originally, I'm from Ghana. Yes. And I've been here, this is my 31st year. I came here when I was about 30 years old. And so you imagine I'm from a typical bush. I was 14 years before I slept under electricity for the first time. So a bush guy. And then allowing God into my life. I've been to the United States from here 76 times for the past 23 years. 76 times, only to one country. I've been to Britain more than 35 times, to Dubai more than 40 times, Canada more than 30 times, Brazil, all over. So the reason why God gave me that revelation of allowing ourselves to be born again, it changes every situation once we allow. So it is a program to encourage people. And thank you for being there for us, your patience, and you and your wife, and will have us in. And then it's so amazing. And we get many calls whenever on Thursday morning. I tell people Ghana is 2 hours behind us. Yes. So it's people who wake up at 3 a.m. Nigeria is 1 hour behind us, and I can get about 6 mails within a day from Nigeria alone on Thursday morning. So thank you so much, and FVN and my friend, our brother, Dr. Andre. We've come such a long way.
You know, Bishop, that's so amazing, you know, just that reach, that impact, that connection. But let's talk about you, Bishop, as in terms of ministry journey, you know what I mean? So when you talk about ministry, when you talk about your heart and being an overcomer, what's the one thing that when you know, I think of the Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8, he says, you know, I've run my race, I've finished the course. You know, when you come to that point in your life, you say, I've run my race, I've finished the course. What's the one thing you want to say, I want the world to remember Bishop Dooku about?
Amen. Just to be a blessing to people. You remember, we are very close with Dr. Andre, so we talk about everything. There are times he will share with me and he will share little with people. There's father, the late Bennett, who will say when they are in their family home here at Agodamaf, and then he says, when you call, Andre will stop everything, even when we are in the family gathering together. And so Dr. Andre will say, Edward, are you still in Barrowf? And I said, Doc, I don't think I'm done there. From there, the Lord took me to all over the world. And if I want to be rich, I'll be rich. I'm not in ministry for money. I've got friends who, when I go to Mississippi, when I go to friends in Arkansas, Little Rock, the home of Bill Clinton, a friend of mine have got a 15-acre land. That one of the most, which is on the media, on the brochures all over, one of the most beautiful homes. So he built an apartment for me. He never lets me lack anything. And then I will take my daughter there, live there for a week. Then I'll be somewhere. She will charter a flight and bring her to where I am, the one you know, Elisa. Yes. And so they will want me to live there, but it's not about that. We have got so many people in ministry for what they can get, for money, for fame, for everything. But ministry, that's what Christ came to do. He left his glory behind and came just to be a blessing. So one day when I live here, what I want to be remembered is a man who really loved people and loved God and wanting to serve people. That is my goal. That's my passion. And one thing is to teach the people. You know the problem we have today, Pastor Bandi, is the church. People go, especially Africa. That is why my heart is here. I've done meetings all over. At time I do 5 countries within 2 weeks. So a day here in Tanzania, another day in Malawi, another day in Uganda, another day in Burundi, another day in Rwanda, Kenya, Ethiopia. We do that. I do that once every year. So at time we'll be in a conference here and I'll just leave and go. And one thing, the African church, the problem, my heart is for Africa. That's why I don't want to live here. We go to church for what we can get. But in other advanced countries, they go to church to learn. That is why people are abusing them. We want miracles. There's nothing wrong with miracles. But if you seek the kingdom first and its righteousness, every other thing shall be added unto us. So my goal is to help the people to love God by obeying his word, and everything follows. Amen.
You know, Bishop, just to close off here, I just want to find out from you, what significant, or what, when I ask you about a testimony, like something, that maybe, like, let me ask you about two, like for you personally, something you'd like to share as a testimony of what God has done for you, and maybe a testimony that you've received from someone, whether it was in your travels on ministry or it was through the TV program. Just two testimonies that you can share. One personal from you, if you're comfortable with that, and another one from the work of ministry that you've done that you're able to share. What two testimonies would you be able to share with us right here for all of us who are watching right here on the Faith Family of Networks?
I want to challenge people watching us from Horuba that if you put God first, He will take care of you. He's faithful, like Dr. Andre, for instance. I've seen where this man have come from. He slept in my home. We've eaten together in Barrowef. We've done a lot of things together. And I will never forget this. When you started this ministry, people don't know, they see the dome, the biggest indoor facility in the whole of the Eastern Cape. Nobody thought this is possible here. And you've come a long way with them. When this church started at Gil Theatre, where we are standing, this is where my ordination was. After Waldo, I was the next one to be ordained here, under the river licensing. And one thing that I saw, Pastor Bandy, in those days is if we can allow God and make room for Him, He can change our lives, everything. I started traveling when my last daughter was about 9 months old. I was in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Hong Kong, ministry. And I remember when they brought her to meet me at the airport, and she was still standing. I promised the Lord, Lord, if you allow me, there's nothing that gives me joy than to see my children growing in the Lord, my home, everything. So my greatest testimony is my two daughters. One is a chartered accountant, and the other one, 24, who you groom here. He was right here for the, and then went to UCT. And when he was even in UCT selected her to go to Parliament once a month. They would drive her there, and at the moment he's working in Mackenzie. Baker, the biggest law firm in the country, in Santon, started 2 weeks ago. And what a testimony. People cannot keep quiet when they look at the girl, and it's all the Lord. I say, I did nothing. I don't know how the Lord brought up such a girl, and River Pipe played a major role. It will be raining. I remember one time you were telling me, you and your wife, to try and get him a small car because of his faithfulness. So one of the greatest testimonies when I look at my daughters, their love for God. That is the greatest thing that I can get. I'm not living for anything. The Lord has been so good to me. I've gone everywhere, and it's not about fame, it's not about that, but it's about being a true to the Lord. So my greatest testimony is what the Lord has done with my daughters. It's such a blessing. Such a blessing. Thank you.
And then any testimonies you've received from ministry partners or people who have connected with you on the network? Like somebody says, oh, Bishop, I watched your program, or Bishop, I attended your conference. Have you ever received any of those? I know they take place, but sometimes, getting them through sometimes is an admin situation.
Such a wonderful testimony from Pretoria. Foray is an African-speaking man. Even when he calls me, you want to speak Afrikaans, and I don't understand Afrikaans. He was watching FBN and said, how can we support? He was even looking for our bank details. Until now, I've not even sent it to him. So I agree to Fule. You've been watching us from Pretoria most of the time, and thank you so much. And he says, when I watch you, your passion, when you sit behind the cameras, it encourages me. And that is what we're supposed to do. That's what we're supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop. It's been such an honor and a privilege. I know I joined this ministry myself in my earlier years, and it has been such a blessing. You're one of the first people I got to meet here in the ministry as well. At large, we're friends with the ministry, and it's been such an honor being able to have this conversation with you. And I thank you for your faithfulness. It's an inspiration to a lot of us younger people in ministry. And I'm just so encouraged by everything you do, Bishop, and we thank you for being a part of the Faith Family of Networks as well.
And can I tell you that God bless you for what you're doing, you and your wife. My friend and my brother trust you, Dr. Andre. When we sit here, when he functions, I sit. When he needs something to clean the face, quickly you're there. Water, you are there. And Andre is a very careful person. So to come such a way, you see, people come here for what they can get. But you and your wife are here to serve. And as a result, I believe God is going to lift you up. People don't know what you do behind the scenes. They don't know running around doing this and doing that. So God bless you and your wife. You are such precious people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop. It's been amazing. It's a team effort, So many of us on the team with Dr. Andre and so it's great leadership. I'll put it to that. Great leadership from Dr. Andre and the team. But thank you so much, Bishop Dooku. And for all of you who are watching right there at home, you can always catch Bishop Dooku every Thursday at 5 a.m. right here on the Faith Family of Network Central African Time. The Overcomer with Bishop Edward Dooku.
And don't forget to join us with Kenneth and Gloria Copeland for the Believer's Voice of Victory, Monday to Friday. Catch it at 8 and then at 4:30. And also Faith Hill Crest Church with Tafara and Chippo Butai. Catch it on Saturday at 10 p.m.
And you might be watching this on different platforms that we have, but we have our very own, which is called FaithNOW. We had a conversation with Mr. Gavin Flanagan, who is VP Operation right here at the Faith Broadcasting Network. Be blessed.
So hi Faith family, I am joined today by none other than Gavin Flanagan, our Vice President of Global Operations. And we're going to be talking about faith now. So Gavin, welcome to Behind the Faith. And it's good to finally have you on this side of the camera and not on my lap at least.
Morning, Bundy. Yeah, no, it's always good to be with you guys. The last time you had me on was for the Dome update, but it'll be nice to talk about Faith Now and what Faith Now is, where Faith Now is going kind of thing.
Cool. Well, let's jump straight into it. And for the viewer at home, we've been talking Faith Now for over 2 years or nearly 2 years, because it's beginning of 2020.
18 months.
18
so
months.
1st of March 2020.
So we kick things off. So, but the question is, what is Faith Now?
I think the simple answer is that Faith Now is a streaming platform.
Okay.
It's a streaming platform that can be downloaded on an app, streamed on the website, but more than just a streaming service, it's what Faith Now is that Faith Now is a single platform with multiple channels.
Okay.
So I think that's the important thing, is that it's an amalgamation of like-minded ministries, television ministries, on a single platform where people can view not only linear channels, but at this point, I think it's about 7,000 plus hours of video on demand content.
Sure. Okay, so we're talking Faith Now, we're talking what it's about, but let's take a few steps back and talk about the vision and the heart of Faith Now. So when this whole thing started, why did we actually do this?
The main reason behind it was a single platform, multiple channels. I think that's ultimately the main reason why we started it. Every single ministry, television ministry out there has got their own channel on a platform.
Yes.
And when Faith Now was birthed, it was more about having multiple channels for viewers from around the world to be able to view great, wholesome family content on a single platform. I think that's ultimately where it started. But I think the important thing is also to know the evolution of it.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question is, okay, we've got this thing going, but where are we going now?
So we're looking at Faith Now, the evolution of the brand into Faith Now Extra, Faith Now Max, Faith Now Kids. One of the most amazing things of our previous app, where the kids content is 60% of our current VOD consumption. And that's where the evolution is for us. We're looking at Faith Now Extra, where we're wanting to add additional channels. Faith Now Max, where not only do we add a multitude of more channels, but radio channels, video on demand content, and conferences.
Yes.
So when we look at the evolution of the brand, it's trying to bring all this additional wholesome family content, but with added extras. We're looking at the kids content from a free perspective, in the sense of, at the moment, we've got Faith Now as a subscription-based model, but kids content, we're wanting to look at it from a free usage. So you can subscribe to the app, but it's not a paid platform for kids consumption. Whereas at $1.99, you're currently getting the 6 linear channels, 2 radio channels, and then, like I said earlier, 7,000 plus hours of video on demand content.
Yeah.
Where we're at the moment is we're busy negotiating additional channels.
Yeah.
And it's birthed from something that late former President Nelson Mandela said, where if you speak to a man in another language, you speak to his mind. But if you speak to a man in his home language or his mother tongue, you speak to his heart. And I think that's where we're kind of wanting this evolution to go.
Yeah.
Is to have Faith Now spoken in so many different languages that we truly become a global network.
Yeah.
And a global brand.
Yeah.
Speaking to people in a wholesome family way in their mother tongue.
Sure.
And I think that's ultimately where we want to go. Where we're at now is just the beginning to what Faith Now is going to evolve into and expand into.
Sure. You know, it's actually quite interesting because it reminds you of the scripture in the book of Acts where it says, here come the ones who've turned the world upside down. And that's the whole heart behind the thing, because, you know, you spoke about the multiple languages, the former President Nelson Mandela. And it's quite interesting because, you know, when you look at the whole landscape, it's Jesus when he spoke to people. He spoke in parables because he spoke their language. He spoke in a way they understood. He spoke about farming because they were farmers.
Yeah.
He spoke about managers because people worked for people. He spoke about wages because people could understand. And that's the whole beauty behind this. But, you know, so we've got this whole vision thing of where we're going. We've got this whole idea and concept of where we're going. But, you know, sometimes technology has a tendency to get people kind of knocked off. So how do I become a part of Faith Now? So walk me through this whole process. How do I subscribe? How do I download? What do I do? You know, just to help a few people who are watching right now as well.
Well, for the viewers at home, the easiest way to get Faith Now is via the website faithnow.net.
Yeah.
Faithnow.net, you can go on, select the tier you want to be on in the near future, or browse the site to see if it's something that you want to be a part of. And the other ways is obviously to download it from the different app stores, be it Google Play,
iOS, Apple
Store, and Microsoft for Xbox.
Yes.
So those are the easy ways to get it. And I think once you're there, you'll see that what the brand is, what we're trying to achieve, where we want to go in the future.
Yeah.
I think within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're kind of going to brand our website in such a way that people know what we're trying to launch as well, rather than just what we are now, what we're wanting to become.
Cast some vision,
cast some vision for the people, because ultimately the whole idea behind Faith Now and the $1.99 subscription fee was that Faith Now would fund its own growth.
Yeah.
We know that we kind of 99 cents or $1 goes to our back-end developers and our CDN costs and kind of that, and then we've got 99 cents to kind of pay it forward. So that's kind of where it is. And then there's also the opportunity for people that do buy into the vision, that they subscribe. They are able to subscribe and watch on 5 devices with a single subscription.
Wow, that's good.
And then there's also the ability to pay it forward. As I said, you can subscribe for somebody else that you want to bless. So there is that option that you can subscribe for them for a year or a month, and you forward that subscription onto them. So that's where we're at the moment, from where we are, where they can get it, and hopefully a kind of an insight of where we want to go in the future.
Okay, wow. So that's Faith Now, and obviously with the future of television and media going all sorts of online, and everything is easy access on the phone. So I can get it on my phone,
You can.
tablet, I can watch it on my website, I can watch it on my smart TV, TV box, all of that stuff. So all of that's settled and sorted.
Correct. Yeah. It's pretty much streaming has become the new normal. The funny statistics is that video on demand content and streaming content was consumed in the past 18 months to 2 years is more than what was consumed for the previous 7 years.
Wow.
So it kind of shows you where not only technology is going, but how people are consuming streaming as a content medium. I mean, you know it from Netflix have got record number of subscribers.
Yep.
Disney Plus in the last quarter increased their subscriber base for 15 million people.
Wow.
Or 15 million subscribers. So VOD content and streaming consumption is on the up.
Yes.
And I don't think that's going to change. If anything, traditional linear television networks have to adapt to what the new normal is.
Yeah. Well, Gav, thank you so much for joining me today. And just before we can talk a bit about Faith Now. So there you have it, guys. Faith Now, it's something that you can be a part of. You can join on to Faith Now, be a part of Faith Now. The details on the screen. You can click on the website and you can subscribe to Faith Now and be a part of the next revolution. Faith Now, right here on Behind the Faith.
FaithNOW is a platform that showcases live channels and video on demand in a family-friendly and inspiring environment. Whether you are looking for an in-depth Bible study, talk shows, podcasts, radio stations, or just a family movie, FaithNOW offers this and much more. FaithNOW, anytime, anywhere.
Wow, what a conversation with Mr. Flanagan. You know, Faith Now is such a platform that has been incredible, it's been blessing people, and it's still going very, very far.
Yes, it is. Listen, I know, even for my own mother, she was just contacting me the other day saying, hey, where are the credentials? Which obviously I sent to her because I'm a good daughter, but for every single person, for $1.99, you can actually have people access precisely what Mr. Flanagan was talking about, the heart of Faith Now, but so much content that's going to uplift you, that's going to build you up, and you can have 5 people on one subscription who are actually connected and enjoying wholesome content. I love it.
That's right. You know, Tando, and it's so incredible. We're so blessed with so many people who partner with us on a regular basis, people who are a part of this network because they are useful instruments in the hands of the Lord.
Yes, they are. And really, I want to encourage you with this. I know it is December, but we are not slowing down.
That's
Listen,
right.
If anything, even during all the rest and the relaxation and the recuperation, I want you to be so aware of this promise in Psalm 65:11, which is, you crown the year with a bountiful harvest. Even the hard pathways overflow with abundance. So no matter what this month looks like for you, no matter what the expectation might be when it comes to, you know, entering into December, spending time with family or being away from family because you're abroad, whatever the story is, God is always good.
That's
Even
right.
the hard pathways, they are filled with abundance. You can expect to encounter his abundance this December, and of course in 2023 the dream shall be, but man, God is always good, and he will always be good to you.
That's right. So for each and every single one of you, as you join us today, don't forget to join our live events Monday to Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. is Faith Church Live. On behalf of Dr. Andre and Pastor Jenny, we love you. God bless.